Lanterns Live, the only live stream channel dedicated solely to the Green Lantern universe. So let's talk about some stuff real quick. Today's going to be a real loosey-goosey live stream. I have like an unexpected day off today, and so I just felt like jumping on. And I saw that Funko Pop News on Threads released a thread that said that Funko will be making pops for the Lantern series on HBO Max. Okay. So I was talking to Will of Green Lanterns podcast, who is in the chat for the time being, but he's off recording a Fellowship of the Fans show. Will, if you're still here, I'm going to be around a while. I figured I'll be here a couple hours just to shoot the shit with everybody. So we were talking, and I joked to him that they're just going to release John and Hal 2-pack based on the image that's been around since February. We got some folks in here, Shortbox Sean. I don't collect them either. But yeah. It's not something, so it's been reported that by Funko Pop's News that they will be releasing Green Lantern pops based on the show, the HBO series Lanterns, which is coming later in the summer. Comic Jack says, "What's up, Ralph?" Not much. Felt like doing a stream, and so here we are. So Pad says, "I hope they don't get their suits in the last episode of the show." Me either. I want them at the beginning. According to the report, there will be a Sinestro. They showed a picture of Hal, John, and Sinestro. So fingers crossed. Just want to know if John's wearing a ring and nothing else. You mean just a ring with no clothes? Or the only thing you want to know is that he's wearing a ring. So this image, because I was talking to Will and saying that they're probably just going to release Funko Pops that look like that picture that's been around since February, I created this. So let me move Dave's thing. So you were asking if John was making the ring. So what this is here is an image that I created for the thumbnail. Funko hasn't released anything yet, any images. This is just news that was reported by Funko Pop News. And so what I did was I grabbed a Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, and I put a ring on his finger, and I altered his hair slightly so he didn't have like the mullet, and I adjusted his clothes to match Hal Jordan. So I created this image. I took a Gary Powell, I believe, Gary Payton, Funko Pop head, got rid of the goatee, and then took a Harry Potter outfit and altered it to look like the clothes from that image, use the image background. But I think kind of what I did was, it's kind of shitty, but for John, since we haven't seen him use a ring yet, I just stuck a ring in his hand just to like continue the myth that John won't get a ring in the series. So that's what this image is. Will said it kind of looks awesome. I think it looks cool. I think it looks legit. But that's because Funko Pops are so easy to sort of just make. So yeah, I totally created that. Vactor's in the chat. Vactor says he needs them. I mean, I'd take this. I'd be fine with these. But I'm not a Funko collector, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see what else we got there. So with the suits, I'm hoping, like, I'm not hoping, but I kind of hope, like, I want to see the suits. I want to see the Green Lantern suits as much as everybody else, and we haven't seen those yet. And I'm hoping that in February we get that trailer that was shown to the press in South America. These Funko figures, a lot of time post photos for movies and stuff that leak information. Like Giant Man, I think, was either a Lego thing or a Funko thing before Civil War came out. Giant Man was leaked due to some toys, and I know Funko does that too. So I got to be honest, like I kind of don't mind seeing Funko Green Lantern pops, just to see what the outfits are going to look like, because I would love to see those outfits in any form. I need these things. I need to know what these things look like so I can gear up. Pad PR says, I already have a Hal Funko. Time to buy a John one. Yeah, the John ones are kind of weird. I used to have it. The first John that came out used a base head, like a basic head with hair and a mask painted on, and John usually doesn't wear a mask. And then the outfit was like the classic Hal Jordan outfit with a repaint over the sort of details in it. It looked really cheap. It was like a Walgreens exclusive. I got it. It was cheap. And then they made a John with Imperial... Is it called Imperial armor or something? So we can use just a regular John. I don't know if the regular John Funko exists. I stopped following them a few years ago when they bought out Mondo, and then completely changed Mondo. So I'm not the biggest Funko fan, and we could talk about that here. It does look awesome. Thanks. Yeah, it's basically me just in Photoshop. No AI. This is me using my Photoshop skills. And if you go look up like a Harry Potter Funko Pop, like that's the body for John, and then Gary Payton head, and then literally just a Steve Harrington Funko Pop. He was holding a candy bar, I think. I don't really watch Stranger Things, but he's holding the candy bar, so I airbrushed that out. And then put a ring on his finger, and then because I was like, look at this. This looks like that stupid picture that we've seen since February. It's almost been a year since that picture came out. Vactor said Ralph fooled me. Yeah, dude, I didn't mean to like fool you. I figured I like trying to get eyes on the channel, and so like just making artwork. I see a lot of people use AI stuff to get this artwork and stuff. I don't do that. I like using Photoshop. So for me, I was like, if I Photoshop something, like pretty much you know what a Funko Pop is going to look like. And I guarantee you that they have versions of the Funko Pops of these two characters that look very, very similar to this. So, I mean, it kind of goes without saying. There was a White Lantern Kyle Rayner Funko Pop that was like SDCC exclusive. It was White Lantern, and the body was again a repaint of the classic Hal Jordan body, and then the head was a repurposed Nightwing head, and you could tell it was a Nightwing head because you're a DC fan. You're going to know DC Pops, and so for me, I'm like the way they used to treat Green Lantern was just like repurposing old parts to make new toys, and that's what I did here. I just used old parts to make new toys. So, I mean, I think they turned out all right. I think if they do look anything like this, if I were a Funko collector, I would get these for sure. We'll see how it goes with like if they do a Hot Toys, which I doubt. We'll see if I get one of those. I know they were planning on doing a Hot Toys Ryan Reynolds figure, but that kind of went away after the movie came out. If the GL universe takes off after this show, then I'm buying a stock in Funko. Yeah, go for it. I want GL to just do gangbusters. So I'm not going to buy any of these, but yeah. Sean says they need to get suits in the first episode and the first half hour. I got to see something. I need either a flashback of Hal or something. I need a suit in the first episode. I really do. Because we're only getting 8 episodes, so let's not waste any time with this. Comics Jack says, I really hope they don't make the suits too tactical based. I want comic accurate GL uniforms. Me too. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. The fact that, like, I know this isn't a James Gunn show, but the fact that they put the trunks on Superman and the way Metamorpho looked and Mr. Terrific looked, I really have a hunch that the suits will look comic accurate. Even though I keep hearing about Hal Jordan's ring. Well, we've seen the ring with the yellow bands in it and the lines. And there's rumors that people have seen a trailer where they've seen the suit and that yellow's incorporated into the suit. I don't know how much, but I really, really am interested to see what the suits look like. So if Funko's going to leak those out, great, because we'll get a pretty good sense of what the suits look like. Pad PR says, I need Hal with his white gloves and John with his JLU suit. I want John in his JLU suit back in the comics. That's what I want. I don't like his current suit, but yeah, I feel like if that's what the suits are going to look like, the JLA John or the JLU John, Justice League Unlimited, and the Hal Jordan like classic Silver Age, then get those costumes. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Dude, I really don't. If you want to buy them, great. You don't need a Ralph Funko. You don't need it. You can probably, I think if you go to like the Funko store in Los Angeles, which is pretty close to where I am, you can do custom ones. I know Brandon Davis does that for his guests on his show. Funko, don't you dare flag this video. I mean, again, if this is a Gary Payton head, a Steve Harrington Funko Pop. So these aren't official. These aren't a leak. These aren't anything. I didn't Photoshop the blood coming out of John's nose. I didn't. Is it in that image? Does he have blood in his nose in that image? Did I not notice that? Let me take a look. I'll bring that image up. Let's see here. I will bring that image up. Image file. Let's see here. Okay. Come on. Yeah, he doesn't have blood in his nose in this. And I kind of made it, I like, I didn't just have John walking. I think I mostly wanted to, like, put the ring in his hand as if he took it off of the dashboard in the car, but didn't put it on, because there hasn't been a single image of Aaron Pierre with a ring on his finger yet. And so I figured that would be a fun kind of troll, put it in his hand, because I feel like that's something Funko would do. So yeah. Comics Jack, do you think if Lanterns is successful, they might segue into a Sinestro Corps War movie? I feel like the GL lore could be too much on casual movie audiences to follow. I think they could set it up. According to like the press release when Lanterns was announced, when that original picture came up, they said that Sinestro was going to be in it. Ulrich Thompson's playing it. And they said that he is a rogue Green Lantern, so I'm assuming he's already yellow. But I don't know if the Sinestro Corps War has happened yet. But the fact that they're setting up Sinestro in the series is enough for me to get excited about the possibility of a Sinestro Corps War. I'm hoping that this Lantern show does well enough to where they can start expanding it and moving it out to like space. HBO kind of wants a grounded series. That's one of the reasons why the Greg Berlanti show, the Green Lantern Corps show, didn't happen, is because it cost too much and took place primarily in space. But there are shows out there that take place in space. And if you have an HBO budget, I feel like it's totally doable. I also think that a movie it's set entirely in space is totally doable. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. That was a property that non-comic book fans really knew about. James Gunn pretty much introduced the world to Guardians of the Galaxy, almost entirely spent in space, and it was successful. And I don't see why they can't do a Lanterns with a similar tone, with like fantastical places, with battles in outer space and stuff. I don't see why it can't be done. I don't see why it can't be done. HBO saying it costs too much. I don't know what they're looking for, but I really feel like it's totally doable. It's totally doable. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to actually just bring up all of these. I've never done this before. So I'm going to bring up all of the comments. So if you guys want to leave comments, they'll all show up on stage here. And I will go through some of these and pick some of my favorite questions. Of course, super chats are available, but you don't have to worry about that. I'll pretty much see anybody's post in case you post those. Let's see here. Ralph, what's something you'd be really disappointed in if it doesn't happen in the Lantern series? Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously the Oath, I feel like it's got to be in there. If it's not, I'd be upset. Power batteries. If they're not in there, I'm going to be upset. Outer space. Like, there's so much stuff. Mostly it's like the major things that we all expect to see from a Green Lantern series, which, doesn't sound like True Detective to me. You know what I mean? Like, they keep saying True Detective. And if you look at, like, the image from Lanterns, if you know to look for the ring, you'd understand that that's Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Without that ring there, it could be literally any show taking place in Nebraska. So for me, just give me anything. Give me anything Green Lantern related. So I'm going to be disappointed if there's specific things. Now, we did hear from Purna Jagannathan. Probably getting that right. Anyway, she's part of the show. She's an actor on the show, and she brought up Guardians. And so it sounds like we're getting Guardians. I'd be disappointed. Basically, if there's not a lot of space stuff, there's not a lot of I could be disappointed about, because for me, any Green Lantern stuff is good. But for some reason, if they just don't have like a power battery, or really don't, I think if they shy away from the lore, that'll make me pretty upset. Seeing that image got me all excited for the show. Are you talking about the official image, or this phony baloney one that I made? Oh yeah, so John was beat up in the teaser. I just decided to recreate this image. I think I did an okay job. It's somewhat close. It's clearly the same background. You can see where I kind of airbrushed out these two guys. But I try to do a pretty close job. I was going to put white in Hal's hair, but I'm like, that would look too fake. Like, I wanted this to pass off as something somewhat realistic and real. So I like it. It's a fun thing, and it was a great thumbnail for me to just pop on and do a live stream. Movies that take place in space. HBO, let me introduce you to a little film called Star Wars. Yeah, Green Lantern's basically Star Wars with the superheroes. What if it's less True Detective and more Men in Black? I'd be fine with that. This shot, I mean, obviously you have a rookie, a black rookie, and an older white man as the mentor, passing along the torch, so to speak. And the way this image here kind of starts in the desert, that looks very similar to the beginning of Men in Black 1, where they track down Mikey. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of okay too. I feel like if aliens on Earth, as long as there's some sort of fantastical sci-fi element to all this, and they don't treat the ring like, realistic or gritty, they just like don't shy away from stuff. I don't like it when things shy away from stuff. Like the original X-Men outfits, perfect example. They shied away from doing like Wolverine in the yellow suit. And then I don't want to have to wait, 20 something years to finally see a comic accurate suit. Like, let's get into it. Let's pull the Band-Aid off and let the True Detective fans know, okay, you're actually watching a superhero show. Comics Jack just joined as a member. I'm gonna bring up my banner in case you want to join. You could see this too. But thanks, Jack, for becoming a member. Because of that, you'll get a badge. You'll get emojis in the chat, in the comment section of every video. You'll get monthly live streams, which I think February's might come a little bit later. Usually I'd like to do it the first Monday of each month, but I will be doing my final Justice League Red issue review on that day, because that run is done. But thanks for joining. Check out all your perks. Go back and look at previous live streams that were only for members. There's 3 of them so far. And again, I'll be doing one sometime in February. Also coming in February, this is new. I posted it today, but on February 4th, Tim Sheridan, writer of Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, will be joining me live on the stream so we can chat about his work with Green Lantern. Highball. Did you see the video of Kyle Chandler finally talking about the show? I haven't seen that. If you want to drop a link in the chat, I'd love to check that out, because I don't think I've heard any stuff with him talking about Green Lantern. So yeah, drop that in there. Yeah. I wish StreamYard. Yeah, we do get great membership content, but unfortunately StreamYard doesn't post the emojis that I created for you guys. But for those of you on YouTube, look in the side chat, you'll be able to see those. So that's pretty awesome. Hey Ralph, do you have a photo? You have to Photoshop a Funko guy. There has to be a guy Funko Pop, right? From the movie? There has to be one from the movie. I was going to grab it. They're not there anymore because I gave them away to Emerald Enthusiasts. But they did have a Guy Gardner Funko Pop at one point. But it's let me see the movie version of Guy Gardner Funko Pop. Oh yeah, there's totally one, and so I wouldn't have to Photoshop him because he already exists. Let's take a look at that, because this is the first time. Hold on, let me convert this to a JPEG. All right, sorry if I'm pounding on my desktop. My mouse is being a little finicky. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And you could probably, if you collect this Funko Pop, you could probably pop this head off and put it on the comic book outfit of Guy Gardner. Let me see images. Yeah, there was this one. Show image file. There was this one. So you can you could pop the head off of this one and put it on this body. But hopefully we get an actual Guy Gardner from Lanterns Funko Pop. And then just like I love this Guy Gardner superpowers, and I know Todd McFarlane is going to be done producing DC figures, but I heard that maybe when Hasbro takes over, that they will continue the superpowers line. So that would be wonderful. So yeah, I just dropped it, but I don't think it's showing up for some reason. Yeah, I wonder if you can't do links. Yeah, I'm not sure how to send me that link. Do you know what page it was on? Is it just like on Instagram, or was it on like a specific like news page where I can do a quick search and find that video? Let's see. So is Kyle Chandler doing press for the rip on Netflix? I do not know, but that must be where it is. Yeah, the Guy Gardner pop is cool. I really like the comic book version. Wife has the 3-pack. Yeah, that's what I had. I had the 3-pack. It was part of the Legion of Collectors, the DC Legion of Collectors from Funko a few years back. And yeah, it came with a Kilowog and chip. It was a really, really nice set. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Give it a middle finger construct. For sure. For sure. It was kind of like a big moment. And I think, that would be a no-brainer. Like, that's a construct that it should have for sure. Are those real? Yes and no. So as I mentioned before, that is actually a Steve Harrington from Stranger Things pop, where I photoshopped out the candy bar, added a ring, adjusted the colors in the hair so it looked more like Hal Jordan. And that is a Gary Payton head on a Harry Potter body, again, adjusting the colors and stuff. So they're not necessarily real, but I mean, the Funko Pops are going to basically look like this when they come out, I'm sure. They should be pretty close. But there was a report that Lanterns will be getting the shows. Well, Funko will be doing the shows, Funko Pops. Me too. I'm desperate to know what the suits are going to look like, and I'm hoping that Funko leaks those soon, so that we can finally, once and for all, know what the suits look like. So, fingers crossed. Let's go Funko. Let's get the merch. Let's get the merch leaked. Let's get it out there, because you guys done it before, and I'm all for you guys doing it again. I'm sure McFarlane Toys will make the Lanterns TV show action figures too. McFarlane's done. I think they're done at the end of this year. So if he's going to make them, he's got to do them quick. So fingers crossed on that, because I think it's now going over to Hasbro. It's going over to Hasbro. But I would like some superpowers, because I really enjoy this line, and I like this a lot. So I'm a kid of the 80s, so like just getting these old sort of vintage looking toys is a big plus for me. Yeah, who's it? Highball. Yeah, just let me know if you can't drop the link. Just let me know where the interview is. Like, if you could just tell me, like, is it on YouTube? Where do I do the search? Let me see. I'll do a search myself, and it is Kyle Chandler interview Lanterns. Well, here you go. This is from 2 days ago. I'm going to try to open this, and if there... I'm seeing an old interview. Let me share my screen. Okay. So this looks like an old interview. Okay. Here we go. Okay, we're going to listen to this. We are rabid. Okay, it's fun. Okay, cool. Tell me if it's good. Okay, cool. Everyone's nice. Great. Okay. Okay, so you guys can't hear it. I'll see if I can make it so you can hear it, but he's literally saying nothing. Hold on. Let me try this again. He's literally just saying, everyone was nice. I had fun. Also share audio. I am sharing audio. Oh, it stopped sharing audio. Now it's going to share audio. Okay. We'll do this. We'll try this again. You should be able to hear it now. Okay.
You know that the DC universe, those fans are rabid. What can you tell us about it?
I can tell you that I've not had so much fun shooting something.
Okay, so he says it's fun.
I did that. The people on it were absolutely wonderful from the top to the bottom.
Cool.
I can't say
You're not going to
about
bash people.
Chris Monday and the producers.
Monday.
And, the DC folks.
Yeah.
It was an excellent experience, and I expect it to be. I expect the show to be as good as the experience that I had. Aaron Pierre, I worked with. He and I had a great time. And Kelly McDonald, and a bunch of, it was just fantastic.
You know, it's hard to believe that Friday Night Lights was 20 years
ago. And not a whole lot. Basically, everyone was nice. It was fun to shoot. But yeah, I guess that is the first time we've heard him say anything about it. Not a lot of info. They're really keeping this thing tight-lipped. Also, the fact that he called it Chris Monday, is that how it's pronounced? I guess I've never heard it say it out loud other than me saying it on the show. But isn't it Chris Monday? So if he doesn't know Chris Monday's name, was he on the set very long? How much of this show will Hal Jordan be in? Because we know that Nathan Fillion didn't mention that he didn't shoot with, he only shot with Aaron Pierre. He didn't shoot with Kyle Chandler. So what if Kyle Chandler's like barely in the show? I don't know. I'll listen. This is what the show's going to be. When I first started doing Lanterns Live, it was just like, I want to talk about Green Lanterns. And I knew this series was coming out, but I knew that like anytime there'd be like this much information that I would jump online and start talking about it. And so like any sort of new tidbit, I'm going to analyze the shit out of. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, if we're getting Hal for only a few episodes and he's done, it'll be so sad. I don't know. And the fact that he only brought up Chris Monday, he didn't bring up Linda Loffer King, who I guess would be more behind the scenes. Chris Monday's the showrunner. And so he would probably be a little more forward-facing to Kyle Chandler. Yeah, we're all rabid. We're all rabid DC fans. He's right. We are. And we are clamoring for any information about that show. That's why, like, the Funko Pop thing is like, we all want to see it. We all want to see it. just so we can sort of find out more about the show. So fingers crossed, because I need the show to be good. I waited a long time for that movie to come out 15 years ago, and I've been waiting a long time for any sort of Green Lantern follow-up in live action since 2011. So, you know, it's got to be good. I'm going to be real sad if it's not. And the thing is, you're all going to be able to see that live because I'm going to be live streaming after every episode airs. It might be, if it's a Sunday night show and it's at 9 o'clock, I guess I'll be on here at 10 o'clock. But I'm on the West Coast, so I think maybe we might get it a couple hours. Like, it might be like 6 o'clock our time. But I don't know, because we don't even know when it's being released. We had a general idea, which was early 2026, which we are currently in. And then they said sometime in late summer. I can't wait for all of us to talk about it when it's released, but I'm also very scared. I'm very nervous. I did a whole member stream about how I'm anxious about this show and that it's not going to be done right. And I'm telling you, like I was super fired up in 2011 for that Green Lantern movie, and it just wasn't what I wanted. So it might be agonizing. I remember watching, what was it? Why the Last Man. They finally did an adaptation. They put it on FX or something. I don't even remember. But man, that show was garbage. That show was complete garbage. Secret Invasion? Was that the one? The Samuel Jackson show on Disney Plus? Boy, that was an awful show. Boy, that was bad. So, you know, I'm hoping that we get like a Lindelof run show the way that we got Watchmen. I know DC, Warner Brothers or DC Studios posted recently that now is a good time to rewatch Watchmen. I'm hoping that is kind of what they're going with Lanterns. I really could use a good show. Because I've seen bad shows, you know. Also, like every Star Wars show, Vactor's right. Every Star Wars show takes place in space. Like, Disney can do it. Warner Brothers can do it. So let's get that going. Let's get Lanterns in space. If they sort of get to it a little bit in this first 8 episodes, fine. But by season 2, we got to be just out there. We just got to be out there. Fingers crossed for like Atrocitus. The fact that we do know Sinestro is going to be in the show, I think, is giving me hope for more galactic stuff. And I want to say it would be nice if, man, I don't know how they're going to do this. Because I was going to say it'd be nice if it was basically Secret Origins, which was Sinestro and Hal, but we already know that it's Hal and John. So maybe if it's Secret Origins with some tweaking, because Secret Origins had Atrocitus in it. Atrocitus was tied to Abin Sur in that story, and like if we can get all that stuff, some Hal Jordan flashbacks. It was just announced this week that someone was cast as Hal Jordan's mom for flashbacks. And so we're probably going to get Martin Jordan flashbacks and stuff. So we will get a younger Hal Jordan for sure. Not sure if we'll get a Hal Jordan as a Green Lantern in his prime. GL Earth 1 element in it as well, I think. They keep showing those pictures, huh? Every time they do they release a press release or information, or you see news on Lanterns, they like to show that Earth 1 artwork, which I'm not too keen on. But I've seen sort of fan artwork based on the Green Lantern Earth 1 suit, which I think was not. I didn't hate it. Let me see if I can find that Earth 1 suit design for lanterns. Who did that suit design? Here it is. DC Comics fanboy. Let me show you this because I don't hate it. It's based on the Earth 1 suit, and it doesn't look too bad. Like if it looked like this, I think I'd be okay. It's definitely not what I want as far as like comic accuracy goes. Hal doesn't have the white gloves, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I mean, yeah, that basically looks like the Earth 1 suit. And again, it's just a drawing, but which we've seen plenty of Earth 1 suits in drawings. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you be okay with this? An Earth 1 style suit? I mean, this looks better than what it could look like. It could look real bad. We don't know what it looks like. But I don't... Like, if it looked like this, I would not be sad because I'd be like, that looks like Green Lantern. The hands look... And the gauntlets look like John's. Classic, like, Justice League Unlimited stuff. Highball says one well-known movie interviewer tweeted that she talked about Hal with Kyle Chandler for 5 minutes. So we're waiting for that to drop. It's probably something that's it's been embargoed and has to drop like after the first trailer. Yeah. Vector says to me, give me the comic accurate suit. Yes. I agree. That's what I want. And it looks like that's what all of us rabid Green Lantern fans want. But I mean, this is fine. Yeah, don't be ashamed. Like, let's get real comic accurate stuff. Yeah, very modernized kind of fighter pilot look, which fits Hal. I think I agree with that. Again, I want it more comic accurate. But if they do go with the Earth 1 suits, like, this is a good sort of representation of what that could look like. And I think I'm kind of okay with it. But I want to see those suits. Yeah, that's the thing. Same here. Highball says, what bugs me the most about the Earth 1 suit is that they're just astronaut suits with the Geo logo on them. Agreed. 100%. And this looks kind of like that, but a little bit less astronaut suity. Also, like, the astronaut suits in Earth 1 look like old sci-fi astronaut suits. If you look at, like, SpaceX and astronaut suits now, like, they look way cooler than the astronaut suits in Earth 1. Do I have Earth 1? No, I think I read that digitally. Yeah. Looks like a green Fantastic Four suit from the recent movie. Yeah, kind of looks like that. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. There was one artist, and I forget their name. Let's see here. John Stewart, Aaron Pierre. Concept. Who did this one? Philippe. I'm going to get this wrong. I'll put this in the chat on who did this one. Which is Philippe Illart, ILL Art. And this is an image of John. Okay, hold on. Let me convert this image to a JPEG so we can all see it. Is it not going to let me? Is it not going to let me upload it? Why is it completely disappeared? Oh, because I did the wrong one. Convert image to PDF or a JPEG. Okay, this dude. So this is from Philippe Illa art. Which, I mean, listen, like, the Photoshop is obvious, but the green boots, the green gauntlets, and the green coming across the chest is very comic accurate. And it still has a little bit of tactical lines in there, so it doesn't just look like a regular sort of spandex. Yeah. Jack likes it. Highball likes it. Literally perfect. Why can't we have this in live action? I'm hoping we do. I'm really hoping we do. I think this is a great rendition of what a Green Lantern suit should look like. I like the collar. Enough black to break the green. Agreed. And it's basically what John looks like, but they added in the shiny bits. I have you're not gonna be able to see it, but I have like some of the Green Lantern action figures have like this sort of shiny gloss for the green parts, and like a flat matte black for the black parts. And it's basically how it's described in Rebirth, or how Ethan Van Sciver drew him in Rebirth, where there was no like muscle definition in the black, and that the green parts like shined. So yeah, this is what I want, and I know we're not going to get it, which makes me sad. I think it's so perfect. And I mean, if they could make them look like this, it would probably be a CG suit, which I know is a big red flag for a lot of people based on the movie Green Lantern. But Iron Man's been a CG suit. Even the Avengers in Endgame, those suits they were wearing when they were going into the time machine, like those were CG suits, and they looked really good. So the technology in the last 15 years has gotten really good. If they can mimic this look on Aaron Pierre for the suit, I'd be totally down with it. Highball says, yeah, the green almost looks metallic. Yes. And it's basically the look that Zack Snyder was going with Kilowog. Justice League Snyder cut. I'm going to bring up that picture of Kilowog because let's get a good picture. If we look at Kilowog, dead Kilowog, by the way, why does this keep saving? I need to make it so my images download as JPEGs. So this is an image that's in Zack Snyder's Justice League of Kilowog dead. You have to look closely for it while you're watching the movie. But if you look at this, Kilowog's armor, his green part of his armor is metallic, and I really, really like that. I really like that. Let me see if I can. So there's this Kotobukiya statue. It's a little statue of Hal Jordan. It's got kind of an anime look to it. It's pretty rad. And this is what it looks like. So as you see, the green is metallic, and the black parts are kind of a flat matte black. This is what I want it to look like, and this is what that is. So that's what I'm looking for in the Green Lantern thing. And I want to say like Wayne T. Carr, and I'm gonna bring up another one. Wayne T. Carr, Green Lantern. I want to say that's what his suit was meant to look like as well. I've been trying to get Wayne on the show. Because I want to talk about him as John Stewart. He's one of the few people that actually got to see that come to life. Let me take Kilowog away from here. I'm going to add Wayne T. Carr. So Wayne T. Carr was going to play John Stewart in the Green Lantern. John Stewart in Zack Snyder's Justice League. They shot a scene. It was deleted. Zack Snyder then, I think, leaked an actual image of what he looked like with the suit on. So he was wearing a CG suit as well. And this is what his looked like. Let me remove the chat real quick. But you can see he also had like a CG, like metallic. It had a metallic look. And he had the pop out emblem. I don't know if this is a finish effect, but you can tell that was like a shiny metallic look. That's very similar to this. So fingers crossed, that's something they can get away with it. You know, they can get away with do it. It looks great. It looks great. Yes, it works for the suits to be shiny since they are literally lanterns. Exactly. Based on how grounded lanterns is, I know we 100% won't get a comic accurate suit. Man, if these guys are supposed to coexist in the world with Superman, the 2025 Superman, I feel like they have to do comic accurate stuff. Right? It's got to be. Vactor, who now has a different logo. I like the metallic. I love the metallic. To be honest, I'm mostly worried they're not going to give Hal the domino mask. The trailer description said he doesn't have one. Domino masks kind of look funny. If he does, like, listen, I want to see the domino mask. I want to see it 100% comic accurate. If the domino mask isn't worn by Hal Jordan, I hope it's a story point. It seems like he's older. He may be like kind of like done with being a Green Lantern, and probably doesn't care if he's recognized or not at this point in his life. So story-wise, maybe that's what it is. Otherwise, I hope they have the mask, and I hope it looks way better than Ryan Reynolds. That's the only one of the reasons why I'm not going to be a stickler about the domino mask, is because it didn't look good in the movie, and Ryan Reynolds looked much better without it than he did with it. So if they can do it right, I want to see it. If it looks like shit, then like I don't care. I like, if they don't have it, then fine. I'm not going to be too bent out of shape. But I really want it comic accurate. Clone Avenger says is a concern of mine with Gunn using Earth 1 photos for GL announcements. I figure it would be something along the lines of it. Yeah, we'll see. That's why I want these Funko Pops to hurry up and leak the Lanterns figure, so we can get a good sense of what the suits are going to look like before we're disappointed. Like, maybe we can see them and be like, oh, it's okay, get used to it, and then be like, when the trailer comes out and we see the uniforms, we'll be like, okay, yeah, they look like that, and I'm getting used to it. But they keep hiding it, and I just like, stop hiding it. listen, if he does have the domino mask, he better have white eyes. They did that in 2011, and I'm hoping that they don't like look at the domino mask with the white eyes from 2011 and say that movie was a failure. We're not doing that again. Just do it right. We got the white eyes with Wolverine finally, and it looked rad. Yeah. Also figured we get a variation of the Earth 1 suits instead. At this point, I'll take whatever they give. We kind of have to, right? Yeah, as long as the show is good. Agreed, 100%. But, man, if they can really push it towards comic accuracy, I'd be really, really happy. We've been waiting a long time for this. Yeah, it's like removing Batman's cowl. It's part of the look. Yeah, I could see that. But again, Batman's had so many different variations over the years. We've had one version of Green Lantern in live action. So with Batman, like when you get like George Clooney and the suit's like Raiders colors, you know, black and silver, it's like, you know, we've had a ton of Batmans. So, you know, we haven't had a ton of Green Lanterns. So we really, really need one to like hit that perfect comic accurate. Yes, so it is official that Lanterns will come out late summer of 2026. That's because of HBO scheduling, and Supergirl's coming out in June. So earliest July, we're thinking August, which means if it's August, we'll start seeing the trailer pop up around February, if not sooner. I noticed that HBO Max this week has been showing a lot of trailers for like upcoming shows like Euphoria and The Pitt. And so I'm hoping Lanterns is coming real soon. Clone Avenger, yeah, the main thing is the show being good and gets GL right. And 100% right. They got it right with Wolverine. Yeah. Yeah, it took them a while. And that's one of the things is like, Ryan Reynolds screwed up Deadpool the first time around, but was able to redeem himself the second time around. And so for me, with the messed up like Green Lantern the first time around, I hope they learn their lesson, really get into the Green Lantern lore a bit more, and then that becomes successful the way that Deadpool did. Ralph, how familiar are you with Tom King's comic work? Not at all. I want to read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I'm hoping that for my birthday I get a compact comic version of that. I heard a lot of people either love him or hate him. I heard some people actually love him and hate him. That he's sort of hit and miss, maybe inconsistent. I have no idea. I'm trusting that sort of working with Chris Mundy and working with Damon Lindelof and working with James Gunn, that this show could help guide him on the right track. James Gunn said that they wouldn't announce anything unless the script was good. Of course, this show was in development before James Gunn, but I'm hoping when James Gunn did his first announcement of Gods and Monsters in the DCU, that he came into a situation where he saw what they were doing with Lanterns, discussed it with them, and thought it was good enough to announce. So my fingers are crossed that all these guys can make this show good, but also be comic accurate. And I know it's a smaller story. I know it's taking place on Earth, and it's not like a huge galactic story. But I don't want them to shy away. Because even at the beginning of Jeremy Adams' current run on Green Lantern, it started off with Hal on Earth. But we still got Carol Ferris. We got The Ring. We got Kilowog. We got Razor. We got all kinds of stuff, even though it was on Earth. So if they can really, like, if it is an Earth-based show, we can have aliens visit. And we know we're getting Sinestro. We are told we are getting Guardians. And we think we're getting Atrocitus. So Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Any updates on my adventures with Green Lantern? Need a first look at Kyle. Haven't heard anything. I would assume it's coming either like probably early next year. But I'm assuming maybe at Comic-Con we can get maybe a first look at some of the characters, like a character sheet. I'd love to see Kyle, but it'll probably just be Kyle like in just regular clothes, like a flannel, unbuttoned flannel with jeans. That's my team, even though they blow. I'm not sure what team. Are you talking about the team of Lanterns? We'll see. Okay, so Clone Avengers is saying, or Comics Jack saying, I'm kind of worried for Tom King direction they are using, since he can take a hit, can be hit and miss. Plus, they announced he's going to be part of the main architect of DCU lore. I mean, he did write Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which the Supergirl movie is based on. I don't know how much he had to do with Superman, but I like Superman. I like Peacemaker. So far, I think the DCU is pretty solid. Clone Avengers says more miss than hits with me. He does like Woman of Tomorrow. Okay, cool. I wonder how he'll work in the TV setting. Maybe similar to the way that he works in a comic book setting. We're getting a lot of comics are 7 issues in a story arc, and we're dealing with an 8-issue series of shows. So, cool. Oh, yeah, that was my Alarmo. Stevie, my wife, has an Alarmo, and it goes up at the top of every hour, which is usually when Vactor's on. And this happened earlier this week. Right before we went live, we waited for Alarmo to finish before I hit play. Yeah. He better nail Lanterns, LOL, because GL Core is much big lore. Yeah, there's a lot of lore to get through. A lot of expectations. So maybe this is a setup. Maybe season 1 is a setup so that people can be grounded and understand the Earth-based like storyline while getting information and lore. Before we jump into space. James Hawes, who's working on the show, he's one of the directors, and I believe he's directing the pilot episode of Lanterns, said that the show will go galactic. So I'm having a feeling like this grounded storyline is for regular people to sort of understand all the lore through Hal talking to John. And then they could ramp up to that sort of galactic level. So I think this is a way for regular people to not just be inundated with like decades and decades of Green Lantern lore right off the bat and just be like confused. So maybe having it grounded is the best way to go. Best case scenario, Lantern season every year. I'm hoping they're already in production for season 2, because that'd be great. I mean, it used to be, so Damon Lindelof, his first show was Lost. I did a documentary about it. I've talked with Damon Lindelof, and he mentioned that, it's really hard when they were making Lost to do like 23 episodes a season, and seasons came out every single year. Now, 20 years later, after the beginning of Lost, he can probably pull off 8 episodes with better technology and better effects and get that out every year, which, if they've got this crew of Chris Mundy, Damon Lindelof, Tom King, and all the writers and the directors, like, they can do it. It can be done. Not everything has to be Stranger Things. Not everything has to take years and years to complete. I feel like 8 episodes a year is totally doable. And if they're already writing this stuff, if they're already writing season 2 as soon as they were done writing season 1, they could get into production of season 2 before season 1 even starts airing. It's totally doable. It's only 8 episodes. It's not 23 episodes. Lost in 6 years did like 120 episodes. There's no reason they can't do 8 episodes a year. No reason at all. I don't know what the hang up is, but the technology is there to get better effects out, and, you know, just it's totally doable. It's totally doable. Oh, you're Clone Avenger. Okay. You're talking about Clooney costume, silver and black like the Raiders. That's my team. Who they blow. Yeah, sorry about that. Hit a sore spot. Hopefully you can get an interview with Lindelof for Monday, or someone involved with Lanterns would be dope. I've already reached out to every actor from the show that's been announced. Some have responded. The consensus so far is it's too early to be promoting it. I reached out in advance for that early 2026 release. That's what I was looking for. But since now we don't know when that is happening, I'm going to have to wait a little while. As soon as the first trailer comes out, I'm reaching out to everybody again. Everybody. And I should be able to get a hold of Damon Lindelof. Whether he want to show up or not, that's up to him. Lost was amazing. Great. I highly recommend checking out the documentary Getting Lost. It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free. And I produced that. I spent 3.5 years working on that with director Taylor Morden. Yeah. And Damon Lindelof was cool. And he told us when we set up the cameras in... When we set up the cameras in his office, he told us, don't point the camera towards the whiteboard. And so we moved the whiteboard into the other corner facing away from us. And the next day, the rumors came out that Damon Lindelof was working on Lanterns, and I kicked myself for not looking at the whiteboard. It was right there. His blueprint for Lanterns was right there. And he could have been using code names and stuff, but I would have been able to figure it out. And I'm really bummed I didn't get to see it, because mostly I would have talked to him about Green Lantern. Any free time I had, I'd just be asking him Green Lantern questions. I know he's a fan, but I'm going to see as soon as the trailer comes out, I'm going to reach out to him and see if I can't get him here on Lanterns Live. We'll see. I'd love to have him on. He's a big Green Lantern fan. There's a Green Lantern Flash comic in the pilot episode of Lost. It's where the polar bear comes from. There's a polar bear in the book. He also wore a Green Lantern shirt to the premiere screening of Lost at San Diego Comic-Con. And again, this was before the Jeff Johns run, so he's been a fan for a while. Yeah. Comic Jack, I also honestly think we shouldn't expect too much action for Lanterns in the first few episodes. It's going to be a slow burn type of format with them investigating the mystery. I agree. I don't need a ton of action. But I mean, it would be nice. As long as the story's good. We need to have a construct an episode, right? At least. I don't know what this means. Combine both links to see the Etsy link for Hal Jordan's ring and Lanterns. I don't know what that is. I didn't get the links. But apparently someone's making Hal Jordan rings for Lanterns over at Etsy. So check that out. I recommend following Ring Foundry. They put out Hal Jordan, the Kyle Chandler ring from Lanterns, and they keep updating it as we get more images. That whiteboard was your Ark of the Covenant. Listen, even if it had fake names like Anton and William Macon, and all of it, even if it did have fake names, there would have been enough information in there, I believe, that I would have deduced that it was Green Lantern related. If I saw the word Construct, if I saw the word Guardians, if I saw like a 2814, if I saw anything on there would have tipped me off. I wish I would have looked at it. I didn't even look at it. I felt like, you know what, I'm going to give this guy his privacy. He was nice enough to let us into his office. He's very, very busy. We went to the Warner Brothers lot. It, of course, crossed my mind that he could have been working on Lanterns because it was already announced by that point. But I was trying to be a good guy and not be nosy. And the next day I felt really, really stupid. Yeah. Comics Jack, I remember before James Gunn took over, they actually announced the Green Lantern TV series that was originally going to center on Guy and Alan Scott. 100%. I believe it was called Green Lantern Corps, possibly, because they were making a Green Lantern movie that Jeff Johns was writing that was going to cover Hal and John. And this HBO series was going to be Mark Guggenheim, and it was like an anthology. So there'd be a couple of episodes about Alan Scott, a couple episodes about Guy Gardner. Both of those roles were cast. They had actors ready for those roles. And then there was also, I believe, a Jessica Cruz storyline where they would all come together in the last sort of segment. So that's 100% true. There was an article recently where Mark Guggenheim talked about that show. He said that HBO said it was too expensive, too outlandish, took place too much in space, and they thought it would be better, since they're space cops, to do a True Detective style cop drama with Green Lanterns, which is where we're at today. So, yeah. That other one sounded kind of cool. I'd be down with that. And speaking of Alan Scott, the writer of Alan Scott the Green Lantern, Tim Sheridan, will be on this show live on February 4th. So we're going to be talking about Alan Scott then. Liz is here. The stream woke me up from sleep. Sorry about that. Was it my alarmo? Glad you're here, though. We're chatting Green Lantern. We're talking lanterns. Funko Pop has been reported that they are going to be doing pops for lanterns. And we don't know what those look like, but I have created this facsimile. Hold on. To kind of show like what they could possibly look like. This is not real. This is Kit Harington from Stranger Things with the Green Lantern ring on his hand and the colors of his outfit adjusted to look like Kyle Chandler. And then this is Gary Payton, basketball player, head on a Harry Potter body, where Harry Potter's holding the golden snitch. I took the golden snitch out and put a ring in his hand. And so I'm assuming this is kind of what we're going to get when it comes to Lanterns Pops, and we're hoping, fingers crossed, blue rings ignited, that we will get a leaked version of these characters with their Green Lantern costumes so we can finally see what they look like. What would I do if the name Aya was said out loud in Lanterns? I mean, I would go nuts. Listen, just the fact that I heard that Chip is mentioned in the trailer, not even shown, just mentioned, has me pretty amped up. Seriously. Aya, I think, is too deep of a cut. If we do get some shots of Oa and there is an interceptor in live action, I would go bonkers. But that's the thing, too. Like, if you don't want to set it in space, you can still do it by creating one interceptor set and do it the way that the Lanterns animated series worked. Have the majority of the scenes take place on the interceptor, and then you can go out into space, a.k.a. some freaking desert in California, as, you know, the surface of Mars or whatever. There's ways to do this. They don't always have to be just flying in space. Also, how much is it to cost? Would it cost for like a blue screen Kyle Chandler hanging from some lines in front of like stars? Come on, guys. They act like just because it's outer space means that the budget has to go way up. It doesn't. Get yourself one of those volumes. Star Trek does it every week. Exactly. Get Kyle Chandler, tell him, hey, listen, you can play Hal Jordan for as long as you want. You just have to sit in this chair with Aya. Get Gray Delisle to do the voice. Here's a question for you guys. For me, do you think the rings will talk like they do in the comics? What do you guys think? You think the rings will talk? One of my favorite things is in Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters for, I was playing it on PlayStation. I think PlayStation 3. Gray Delisle, who voiced Aya later, was the voice of the ring. And she sounded great. I would love that. Comics Jack doesn't believe that's going to happen. You don't think they're going to talk? Oh man, it would be so great. It'd be so great. Have Kevin Michael Richardson voice the ring, but do it in the Kilowog voice. A lot of people saying no. A lot of people say no. Oh, good call. Because Guy's ring would have made jokes in Superman. But would Guy turn off his voice, his ring voice, when he's on Maxwell Lord's time? Like when it's official Green Lantern business, he has it unmuted? Maybe. Highball says, I don't see why not, especially since AI is so popular now. You know what I want? Like, I want my Siri to sound like Aya. And when are we going to get to that point where I can make my Siri sound like Aya? And I want to call my Siri Aya, and that's it. Gray Delisle does, in fact, rule. Yes, she does. I think I reached out to her about being on the show. I should probably do that again. Would be great. Big fan of hers. Massive fan of Aya. Massive fan of everybody that's worked on Green Lantern, the animated series. I'm trying to get Giancarlo Volpe on the show as well. Maybe I should reach out to Josh Keaton, Kevin Michael Richardson, and Jason Spizak. I should reach out to all of them. Yeah. Funny thing is, like, I have a friend who's friends with Josh Keaton and has been since before he was Hal Jordan. So maybe I should reach out to her and see. Yeah, I know he's known for Spidey, and I'll have like 0 Spider-Man questions. I do like that he played Spider Agent in Invincible. I'll talk about that. But this is a Green Lantern podcast, so I'd really only talk about Green Lantern. Unless he has something he needs to add. But yeah, I should reach out to everybody again. If you guys look at my schedule, I have a lot of shows coming up in the next 3 weeks. I think I have like 6 streams scheduled, including today's. So I'm like ready. I've got my schedule set out for my work, my day job, my work. I'll start being able to like start adding shows, and I want to do more streams per week. I don't want to just do the one stream per week. Vector says I'm a machine. I just like talking about Green Lantern. Liz says I don't know why they canceled it. I'll tell you why they canceled it. Green Lantern the Animated Series was a show on Cartoon Network, and like a lot of shows on Cartoon Network, you got to sell toys. And the problem is that the Green Lantern movie came out summer of 2011 in June, I believe. And they made a lot of toys for it. And those toys didn't sell. And those toys were on the shelves and in the discount bins in Walmart forever. No one wanted Green Lantern toys. Cartoon Network shows up, creates a show, creates toys, did prototype toys for Green Lantern, the animated series, approached retailers and said, we're doing this new Green Lantern show. Do you want to, would you want to like put these toys on your shelves? And they said, no. We already have a bunch of Green Lanterns on our shelf that nobody bought. Why would we want more Green Lantern? And the show was like, well, because this is different. And they said, we don't care. And so if they're not going to sell toys, then there's no show. Plain and simple. That's why it got canceled. And it's total BS because it's a wonderful show. And if you haven't seen Green Lantern, the animated series, check it out. I don't know where. I think it got pulled from HBO Max. So, iTunes or something. Get the physical version on Blu-ray. It was so good. Yeah. I got Vactor to watch Green Lantern, the animated series, and he's grateful. He watched it like just under the wire of starting to like read Jeremy Adams' run on Green Lantern, which is great. Mm-hmm. All right. Not getting a lot of questions. I might take off pretty soon here, unless you guys still want to chat more Green Lantern. It's getting dark in here, and I'm not within arm's length of my my remote for my light. And it looks like my green light went out on there, so my new green light is haunted as well. So if anybody doesn't have any questions, I think I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon. I want to thank you all for joining me. Let's see here. Do what Comic Jack did and join the membership. It's only 99 cents. There's only one tier. And if you join for 99 cents, you get badges next to your name. You get unique emojis that I've created that are Green Lantern centric. And you also get monthly live streams, which will be happening. The next one will be happening sometime in February. I haven't locked down the date for that yet. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to talk about. So I'll probably send a message out to members this week and see if they have any ideas. Join me next week where I'll be covering Absolute Green Lantern 1 through 6. That's the first volume. And then soon after that, I'll be covering Green Lantern 31 with Will. I'll be doing Justice League Red, number 6, the final, and then an interview with Tim Sheridan, writer of Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, as well as the DC Pride, What the Heart Wants, I think is what it was called. So a lot of fun stuff coming down the road, and I just want to thank everybody. Thanks for joining me. And I'll see you guys next time. And until then, I'll just click this on hide and say, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live.